Hey everybody, tonight we're going to do an update on my 20-gallon Angelfish tank. My regular viewers will know that this tank is my problem tank when it comes to cyanobacteria. I've got cyanobacteria in pretty much all of my tanks. I'm not really concerned about it in most cases. I do treat for it once in a while in a lot of my tanks, but when it goes away, it tends to stay away for quite a while before it comes back. This tank has always been a problem for me. I treat it and I treat it and I treat it and I stop because it looks beautiful, and the cyanobacteria comes back, and it comes back immediately, and it comes back with a vengeance. It always just crushes this tank, and I don't know why. I've never really figured out exactly why this tank gets it so bad. So recently I decided once and for good we're going to use Chemi Clean in this tank, and we're just going to wipe it out. We're going to treat it and treat it and treat it until I've gotten on top of it and we no longer have any cyanobacteria in this tank. So again, for those of you who follow along, you know I lost my whiptail catfish. I don't believe it was associated with the Chemi Clean treatment, but I did lose that fish. I then lost my cherry barb, my female cherry barb. She was old and she started having swim bladder issues. I thought at first, possibly, once again, could this be a complication from the Chemi Clean? And ultimately I decided it probably was not. And she swam around for about 2 weeks with absolutely textbook swim bladder issues, and I actually found her dead yesterday. So I took her out. I had already done a water change and finished up the one an additional Chemi Clean treatment. I think we're probably on the 5th or 6th cycle now of me doing water changes and then doing another dose and treating the tank again. I was doing really, really big doses. My initial dose was a triple dose probably. And after that, I backed off to sort of double dosing it. And now the last dose I put in this tank the day before yesterday, or was it last night? I've lost track. Anyway, the last dose I put in there was a standard dose, a regular dose for a 20-gallon tank, which would be 2 level scoops. And the result looks good. I'm happy with it. Now, I know you're probably thinking the tank looks awful, and it does, but that's what I want to see. For one thing, we're not getting a lot of bubbles after I put my last treatment in there. Normally when I put a treatment in there, I get foam on the top of the water. So the fact that I'm getting so few bubbles lets me know that there's not a lot of stuff in there left for it to kill off. All of the stuff that was really growing on the leaves and was having the last little bit of trouble, you can see how all this stuff's turned just kind of brown and looks nasty and just dead. And even I left this deliberately on the front glass. You can see how dead this algae looks. That doesn't look like algae on the front glass at all anymore. It just looks like dead stuff on the glass, and I believe that was because it was cyanobacteria. You can see right here it's all sort of brown. So I don't think that was algae that was on the front glass that was dying off. I think that was cyanobacteria, and I just never gave it enough of a dose to finally kill it off once and for good. You can see the little tips and bits on the edge of the leaves. They used to be green, now they're all brown. Everything on that rock has gone from being sort of greenish to kind of almost brown, but you can still tell there's hints of green in there, and I'm sure deep down between the rocks and the substrate and so on and so forth, there's probably still some cyanobacteria left alive in there. But we are headed in the right direction. The last water change I did, again, was either yesterday morning or the day before. I lose track of my days. I got in there with the siphon and I removed a bunch of the cyanobacteria off of the plant material, off of the leaves and everything. I removed all that. I got a bunch of dead cyanobacteria off of the little heater down there. That had green stuff still growing all over it, but I removed that when I did the water change. And since I've done the water change and added another dose back into the tank, everything is turning brown now. And again, we're not getting a lot of foam on the surface of the water. So I think we might be coming around the bend on this tank and finally getting on top of it, but I'm not going to stop now. I'm pretty convinced that the Chemi Clean treatment, even when you ramp it up the way I've been doing it, is harmless to the fish, so I'm not concerned about that. Again, as I mentioned, I'm down to doing normal as prescribed, as directed doses. And as long as we keep doing that, I'm probably going to do at least another couple cycles. Why not? Again, it's not hurting anything. I really just want to get on this stuff once and for good. So there you go. There's tonight's little update on my 20-gallon Angelfish tank. Make sure you subscribe. You never know what you're going to get with me. I think the next tank we're probably going to be doing some maintenance on. I'll give you a little teaser here is my 125. It really needs another haircut. It's getting really bushy, and the fish hardly have any room to swim around in there anymore. I've got so much green stuff going on in there, so we're going to get in there and get on top of that. So again, make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss anything. You never know what it's going to be with me. Thanks again for watching. See you real soon in the next one.